Hey everyone, it's Eric here from my 525XL. Just thought I'd give you a quick overview on how my Apex Fusion is set up for my tank today. I was just going to go over a couple of tiles, let you know what I'm running and how I'm running them. So as you can see, I do have the Neptune Trident set up. So it is measuring alkalinity, calcium and magnesium. My calcium is a little high. I don't have a lot of hard corals in the tank right now, so the only thing that's absorbing it, I guess, is the coralline algae right now, but it's not grossly out of whack. Magnesium is okay. Alkalinity, I'm keeping between 8 and 9, or 8.5 and 9. I like to keep it up there. I think a lot of people keep it around 8, but I keep mine a little higher. My salinity in the tank usually ranges between 34 and 35, so I know we're supposed to try and keep it as steady as possible, so I do try to do that. ORP is 420, which is pretty standard until I do a water change. pH ranges, as you can see, from 8.2 to 8.02, so I just turned on the lights a little while ago because I'm just fussing around with some green hair algae. So that'll probably climb back up through the evening. My temp is between 78.5 and 79.2. I think that's a happy median between the two. And the tiles that I have, so the top one is my Nile skimmer. I do have that set to turn off when I do a feeding and the return pump stops, so nothing gets pulled down into the sump. So that works out really well for me. Just my preference. I've got two different feed schedules here. One is for the automatic feeder and one is for manual. So manual I do brine shrimp and the auto is just the pellet, but I've stopped the pellet for now until I get rid of the GHA. I've got a Chaeto light that is always on in the sump, so I just keep that on all the time, 24 hours a day. I do have two heaters, just one as a backup, just in case, you never know. So they are programmed exactly the same. Come on at 78.6, go off at 79 roughly. There is a variance in the temperature though, I notice 0.1 or 0.2 degrees Fahrenheit. But I do like having the two just in case one fries on me, because I did have one die on me before. My MP40s I keep on all the time because I do control them through the Ecotech application, so I keep them on consistently in Neptune. And same with my two Radion lights as well. They're always on because I prefer to control them through the Ecotech application, just my preference. My return pump I've got on here as well. And again, I got it turning off for feed modes A and B, just so I don't pull all the food back down into the tank. So it just circulates within the display tank. I have a spare outlet here. This was for my Red Sea Reefer, the RSK 600. That's the port it was plugged into, but I since went to the NIOS 220 internal, so this is a spare plug for me. My Refuge Light I have on a schedule as well, so it comes on around 7 a.m. in the morning and then off at 11, and that's just really for me if I'm doing any work underneath the tank, it's on. And then I have a backlight on the tank as well, just behind the tank. I've put some LED lights, glued them on the back just to give it a glow behind, just for aesthetics really. And then I've got the Neptune dose, so I am dosing the ATI Essentials Pro. I just started that in December, so I'm going to see how that goes. I'm doing a really low dosage, as you'll be able to see. Just as a shout out, this is from reefsupplies.ca. Raymond's awesome to deal with. Always, always, always responsive, and if there's anything wrong, he is on it all the time. Great guy to deal with, great company. Been dealing with him for years now, and he's my go-to guy. So just a shout out to you, Ray. Thanks for all the great service. Not sponsored, by the way. So back to the dose. I am dosing about 7.2 mils of each agent per day, because I don't have a lot of coral in the tank right now. I'm just getting started, so I don't want to throw the parameters way out of whack. And then I do have so back to the dose. I've programmed it to go every other hour, so each agent you'll see is alternating, so I alternate them both so I get an even dose throughout the day. So that was actually a recommendation on the website for the ATI Essentials Pro, so that's what I've done. So far, happy with it. I haven't had any issues, no huge swings in any of my parameters. I do have an auto top off, which is the Toonsy. I do turn it off when I do a feeding. It also will go off if my NIOS, so the return pump, goes off. So I just don't want that crazy beeping going on when the sump fills up. It goes over the limit for the auto top off. So instead of having it scream at me, I will turn it off and then wait 30 minutes and let it go back on. I wait 30 minutes because the skimmer will come back on, pull the water level down again as it goes into the chamber, and then it does have like an automatic, I guess it siphons through water as soon as it turns on, so I like to give it a bit of time so it doesn't go past the overflow limit again. So I wait 30 minutes and it comes back on once I'm finished feeding. And then I've just got just the 2 pads for the power bars, just to monitor the power consumption and what's going through, see if there's anything weird or wacky coming on there. If something's really jumping or spiking, then I know I've got to take a look at perhaps what outlet's causing the issue. I did find this really helpful because I did have a heater that was shorting out on me, and it came up here as abnormal wattage, high usage. So when I clicked on the tile, I was able to see which one was just, I can't even remember the usage was. It was really high, but it gave me like an exclamation mark. So ever since then, I've gone through and put in those 2 now. So now like I mentioned before, I've got a backup. So that's it. Just a quick overview on how I've got my Apex Fusion set up. I've got it set up on my phone too. Works like a charm, and yeah, I can't say enough about it. Some people don't like automation. I like it when it works, obviously. It does help out in terms of time spent for maintenance or monitoring. This Apex Fusion is a godsend in my opinion. I've been running the Apex now for a couple of years. I've never turned back. Only thing I really haven't done is just put on my Radeons and my MP40s. I might do the MP40s, but I think I'm going to leave the Radeons on the Ecotech program. Only because they have parameters all cut out already. You can download the templates for it for lighting schedules, so I really like that. I know people create their own, but right now I'm just going to keep it as is. So that's it. That's my update on how I use Apex on my tank. Pretty basic stuff. I mean, I don't have any crazy programming in here. I like to keep it simple, so that's how I've been running it so far. Any questions, feel free to leave your comments down below, and I'll answer them as quickly as I can. Thanks again. Have a great day.